Look, you're gonna have to go now. You need to do a video, okay? You're gonna have to go and sit in the corner, okay? Just gonna start with a big thank you to All Things Tennis. Now, they've been supplying me with rackets, equipment, strings, grips, shoes, even kit for the past 2 years. And tennis costs are just pretty mad. Like, it costs a lot to buy rackets and, you know, all that jazz. So just really, really grateful for all of their support. I mean, they've helped me with 4 head extremes this year. So, you know, that's 3, 4. They're obviously, you know, a really big help, and I really need them for playing. They've also given me 2 pairs of the Asics Core FF Speed 3, not Speed, Core FF3, the Novak Djokovic shoes, which are unbelievable as well. And they also put me in touch with a kit sponsor with Nordic Dots. So obviously big thank you to Nordic Dots as well. They're sending me a lot of kit. But yeah, basically without All Things Tennis, like, I would be pretty screwed. And they actually helped me to start my first like YouTube videos as well. They were encouraging me to do that. So yeah, big thank you. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I've been playing professionally now for about 8 years, and during that time I've been in and out of having no budget and then a slightly bigger budget. And the most I've ever spent on tennis in a year is about 20 grand. Now 20 grand sounds like a lot of money, and it is. But in terms of tennis, like 20 grand in a year is not actually a huge amount. Like, if you think about it, the average week training, you know, if you're spending £35 an hour for a coach and you have 2 hours a day, that's, you know, you could be spending like £400 or £500 in a week just on coaching. And then you've got all your food costs and. And then when you go away to a tournament, you know, you're spending, on average, if you're doing it very cheaply, you're spending £500 a week. And there's no guarantee that you're going to earn any money on top of that. And those costs include things like Airbnbs, hotels, food, stringing, transport, all big things. I can't really give you a exact amount how much tennis will cost per week when you're playing on the pro circuit, because it's in different places all the time. It just changes. 1 week could be very expensive, could be about £1,000. 1 week could be £400 to £500. So, and then you've got to factor in that you're not actually earning loads of money. If you win 2 rounds in a futures in a 25k in qualifying and you get into the main draw, you've earned £250. You know, and then if you win a round, you may be earning like 300, 350 before tax. Like, making money in tennis, you know, borderline impossible at the lower levels. And also funding it, very difficult unless you've got a sponsor or rich parents, or you've got some good side hustles or a great YouTube channel. So, you know, it's very difficult. But what tennis should cost for you to do it properly per year is about 40 grand. And I'm just going to go through a few of those costs right now, what those include. I have it on my phone because I can't remember it off by heart. It's not even my phone. My phone's on the pod. In this cost breakdown, travel and flights are about 6 grand a year. Transport, about 2.5 grand. Accommodation, you can spend 8 grand. Food, daily expenses, 5k per year. Coaching, which I would say, you know, most players, coaching is a luxury. You can spend up to 6k. Training and fitness, 3k. Equipment, maintenance. Thankfully, I've got a sponsor, so I don't have to worry about that cost, but it could be 2k per year. And then you have your medical, injury prevention, could be anywhere up to 2k. And then you have your miscellaneous costs, which for me is probably just coffee, which is probably more than £1,000. But so that would be an estimated budget of about 40 grand. And I'll be honest, that's probably about the minimum that you would need to do it properly. That would be playing 30 weeks of the year with a coach, either there with you or when you get home to help you carry on that process of improvement, help you, stay on that kind of steady progression. And so, yeah, you're probably looking at that thinking like 40K, like, that's just ridiculous. And it is, especially when you don't earn anything playing tennis. And that's probably the bare minimum of what you could do it for. I mean, I remember in 2023 when I lost, my sponsorship, I had 2 years worth of sponsorship, 15K a year for 2 years. And that was probably the most money I'd ever had invested in my tennis. And I remember to play pro events after I lost the sponsorship. Luckily, there were a few in the UK, so I knew a few people that I could stay with. But again, there wasn't any space, really. So I was having to stay on people's floors and scrap around and still work during tournaments and things like that. So my mind wasn't, I wasn't really doing it properly. I was just kind of like hustling still. So yeah, it is possible to do without much of a budget. Like, I'm not saying you have to have 40K, but that would probably be the minimum to do it properly. To do it, you can hustle, but there's no guarantee that you're going to make it, because tennis is tough enough, even without having to just like scrap around and, sleep on people's floors. And I've heard of players staying on park benches and things like that, like just to get by, like, or sleeping in the locker room of the club. And yeah, I've seen a lot of players hustling, so I know what it's like. I'm just saying that budget is probably the minimum you would need to do it absolutely properly. So you're getting a good night's rest, you're getting good food, you're comfortable when you're traveling, etc. And obviously there's tiers above that. Like, some players are paying over 100K a year to do this, even at futures level. So yeah, there's varying degrees of the budget, but that would probably be the minimum. So you're probably thinking, like, at this point, I must be making some pretty mad money out of the YouTube to be funding this whole journey, or, Ella's got some magical funds coming in from somewhere that isn't OnlyFans. So yeah, but actually I've turned my attention to playing a different type of tournament, a different type of pro tournament. So I've actually started playing more UTR events. And the reason why these are so good for players is because they offer a guarantee of matches and prize money. You could travel to a futures and you could play one match, lose first round, bang, you're done. And you don't earn any money, or you could get into the main draw and earn £250 and you spent $750 to get there. And then you're just waiting around for the whole week to play again, or you just go home. So it's a pretty tough gig. You've got to be winning a lot at futures to earn any money, and you've got to win week in, week out. Whereas when you're at a UTR event, you get 5 matches pretty much guaranteed, and you get $400. It's like 350 quid. And that's perfect as a tennis player. The only thing that they don't offer is ATP points, but we'll see. I mean, there's always time for that sort of thing to happen, but at the minute, for players who are on more of a budget, they're looking to play like more events, I think supplementing UTRs is such a smart move. And I honestly wish I'd done it sooner. I was contemplating doing it last year and decided to work instead and, coach and things like that. And that was nice, but my passion is playing. Like, I really want to play. Like, I want to earn money through playing tennis, and, I want to compete and that sort of thing. So they're just such a good way of kind of supplementing the income while also maintaining your level, because you get 5 matches per week, which is perfect. You can work on your game, you can go out there and compete, and also you can earn money. You can, pretty much have a week for free. Even if you didn't win a match, you'd still be pretty good for that. So yeah, I'm turning my attention to playing more of those. Also, they're very good for content. If you're a content creator, you want to get into a YouTube channel, anything like that, like, you're getting so many matches, and often what I've experienced is they're in pretty nice places. So, it all looks very good when you're filming it, and that's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's still important. So they're good for content creators as well. But yeah, so that is my cost breakdown of what it would cost to play a full year of professional tennis. And also my advice, if you want to go and play a full year, or you feel like your budget is stopping you, go and play UTR. Go and play a load of UTRs. Get a load of matches, get a lot of form, and get cash.